The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Monday morning, Monday afternoon episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He's Dave Sherapan. I am Matt Perrault. We are live on our YouTube at Boston versus the Book. Same on Twitter, X, replayed on Sports Grid Television and Sirius XM channel 159, following a monster weekend of NFL and even Friday night football in the college ranks. How are you, sir? You're wearing Suns gear? We doing basketball talk today?
Phoenix, baby. Everything's about Phoenix today. The game's in Phoenix. I just realized you're not right next to me.
Right.
I got used to you doing shows.
Right.
And your leg bouncing for an hour and 30 minutes straight. If you guys have ever come to a live show, which we're going to have more live shows, in 2025, you watch P-Roll, my man gets his steps in while he's doing a show. It's unbelievable.
Got a lot of stuff to worry about.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of stingers, which, by the way, if you got an example of a stinger, just get into it
later.
Sure?
Already built into the show.
Okay, good. We'll have stingers. We'll have chats, hats, all kinds of things. Yes, it was an unbelievable weekend. Everybody won. I mean, okay, Jay Dow. I know. We'll get to that. I told you they were going to win. I didn't think the Steelers had a chance. I didn't think it would be 21-0 and 19 first downs to 2 and everything that it was complete dominance, which I fully expected, Jay. I do need purple stuff. Big game tonight. Purple gang, things. So I got purple on now, thinking about Phoenix, thinking about the game, thinking about the live shows we did at Resorts World. It was a lot of fun. They put that BVB up. Look at that. That was good.
Yeah,
the audio was good on Friday. Thursday was a little bit iffy. We got through it.
Yeah,
it went off great.
Yeah, it went off tremendously well. And we're going to be back there for 2 more live shows. The dates are to be determined, but it most likely going to be sometime around the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So if you are coming to town for the big game on February the 9th, right? Yeah.
Sunday, yep.
Sunday, February the 9th. If you're coming in, most likely we will have either during the week or actually on game day.
Yeah.
Depending on what we're doing it and how we're doing it. So stay tuned for that. But we definitely would do 2 more shows from Red Tail at Resorts World. And I think what's really fun when we go out and we get a chance to showcase these events to you guys and showcase these places to you is that we get to talk to the people that work there and we get to kind of get the lay of the land as to like what it's like to be there for an event, for a game, for a big moment. That's one of the most comfortable places I've been to in Las Vegas that just lets you relax. Like some bars that you're in, like there's just so much noise and people and just, it's hard just to sit there and watch the game. I felt like we watched the Penn State game and I actually watched the Penn State game, which is not really all, for me at least, when I'm out, my biggest critique or why I don't watch games at books all that often is because I can't actually watch the game. Too much going on. There at Red Tail, you actually can watch the game.
Well, plus, you are an audio guy and an audio professor and all this other stuff. The audio in there is perfect.
Perfect.
It's literally perfect. So when they put the games up on that multi-screen thing in the front, you can hear every word like you're watching it at home. It's very comfortable. There's no smoke.
Yeah.
The servers, the waitresses, and the hostesses, I mean, they're fantastic. So it was a lot of fun. The food was great. We had to run Friday. We couldn't stay and watch the game. The game was what it was.
Is that
what up, doe fellas? Scott Lewis, small S. I don't even. What up, doe?
Cool. recruit.
Good to see
January
you, sir.
13th. Welcome in.
Yeah.
First time I've seen that name in the chat.
I love it. Yeah. But, so it's going to be one of those things. Oh, you're frozen. Snap your fingers. Bro, every time we got something. Look at that. That was a contemplating. Mikey Awesome's going to get you there. That was a contemplating P-Roll. It went like this, a little sideways look.
Contemplating thought. Yeah, if you guys, it's a new year, so I know we haven't talked about this before with anybody who's watching the show for the first time and are listening to the show for the first time. When you come into the chat, we always give you guys first right on screen. If it's your first time coming in, always ID yourself and tell us it's your first time watching or first time posting in the chat, and then we go ahead and put you guys right up. He says he's live AZ solo for the DJ.
Oh.
DJ meaning the Daily Juice.
Okay. Love it. Listen, there's a lot of crossovers from the Daily Juice that are finding the show. There's a lot of crossovers from the Sports Grid that are finding the show. Our friends at Bet Rivers.
Yeah.
Our guy
Robbie.
Hi. Alongside Robbie came through strong.
Did he ever?
With a big
wear that later.
care package. We'll get to that. Been doing that show with Jerome Bettis all season for me in Pittsburgh. I don't know if that one's going to keep going though after the way that one ended. I'm not sure that I haven't heard yet from the producer, but things aren't great in Pittsburgh right now about the Steelers, and Penguins got smoked over the weekend. It'll be spring training before we know it.
Get Skeens back up on the mound.
Yeah, baby.
Get him rolling.
Yes.
If you guys are watching on X, let me know, because I think it says the stream is okay, but I don't know if we're okay on X. I don't know if today the Twitter X always makes weird adjustments on this show.
Oh boy. Okay. I don't know. There he is, frozen again. Look at Matt when he's looking frozen like that and he squints his eyes like that.
Okay, so we're good. Okay, so we're good. I just went on there, so we're good. I think that's why I froze. It's because I went on there.
All right.
To see, but there was definitely, I think there was some type of lag or issue this morning when we went live on Twitter, on X today. So
okay,
we're fine on YouTube, which is great, and we're obviously on the replay crew for
excellent.
Okay, thank you. I see you on X, frozen. Thanks,
okay.
Sonic.
Thank you, Sonic.
Appreciate
One
you
of our
guys
wrenches
doing that. Okay. What happened this weekend? A lot of things to get into from this weekend football-wise. Let's start. All three games on Sunday went under. Only the Texan game goes over on Saturday.
Yes.
It felt like the totals were inflated. I don't think we'll see that this coming weekend, obviously, I think with 4 games, I think we'll see lower totals. We have seen lower totals, but what'd you make of that? We had 2 of those games in the 50s.
The totals are higher.
They're higher this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, God, even worse.
55.5.
Bad idea.
Washington, Detroit, and 51.5 for Baltimore, Buffalo. No, listen, I mean, the favorites won and covered, the ones that did, and the ones that lost outright. So books got beat up pretty good. At least the totals went under for the books, but nobody's crying for the books. Nobody cares about the books. That's fine. I don't know. And Washington was the public side. So people had the people are having a good season in the NFL. I mean, it's a good season to bet the NFL because despite the officiating, despite all the flags and then the non-flags, it's kind of like going like, I mean, didn't we get the perfect? I think we got the perfect results so far. Baltimore and Buffalo.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we'll get to the bracket here in a second. Absolutely. Yeah, we got a phenomenal 0-5 on team totals. And for road teams is interesting.
Yeah.
Road teams at 0-5 on team totals, 5-0 to the under. Huh.
Yeah.
Every team who got the ball first lost.
That's weird.
Home team won the toss in 3 games.
Oh boy. Is there going to be a conspiracy theory about the coin? Huh?
50-50. Although if you look at some of the lines, I guess 50-50 means you pay juice now.
Of all the games, Washington and Tampa last night was the most entertaining as far as the NFL for me.
Okay.
I see Linus in the chat. He was thinking what I was going to say. The first half of Chargers Texans felt like it took 3 hours. Woo, that was a long one.
That was a long one.
Yeah. Did the Texans give you any hope that they're going to beat the Chiefs?
No, because it was Justin Herbert throwing 4 interceptions. He threw 4 picks all year. He threw 4 in the game itself. That was like, I don't know what Charger team showed up. That was bizarre. They didn't run the football. Herbert threw into tight windows and just looked like, looked like a rookie quarterback. Looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
I think we always have to remember the other team is playing too. And you can't just show up and expect to have success because the other team's playing too. And I used to tell the girls this all the time. Just because you guys practiced, the other teams have been practicing too. And just because you guys think you can hit or you hit last game doesn't mean you're going to hit this game. Just because the Chargers are able to throw the ball over the field against some bad football teams doesn't mean they're going to go on the road. Houston's defense played pretty well.
Great.
I mean, they hit him a lot.
D'Amico Ryans,
they had it dialed up.
Talk about, bringing back and silencing all the critics. I mean, everybody after year one thought CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans, they were poised to be the next big thing in the NFL. They thought they were going to be the big thing in the AFC. And yet in the regular season, injuries, schedule, whatever you want to call it, they didn't perform at all. And they looked like the easiest. I mean, you even had, people coming out there on TV saying it was a bye week. Rex Ryan called it a bye week. So this is a bye week for the Chargers. This is a gift to face the Texans on the road is a gift. Somebody forgot to tell the Texans that.
I mean, Rex coached in the NFL, and I'm certainly not qualified at all to say anything to him other than I just wonder sometimes if he watches the games when he says some the things that he says, because I don't know. I used Houston in the contest. I really liked Houston all week. I just thought that was the game that was going to start off the weekend with a dog winning, and I didn't think it was going to be any other really dogs until Washington, but they ran the ball, P-Roll.
Mixon's great.
Back.
Yeah.
Running the ball and playing defense in January has worked since the beginning of time. And all of this stuff that goes on in the regular season, we talk about the other sports, how it's different in the playoffs. This week, I saw it different in the playoffs in the NFL from the regular season. Because what Baltimore did?
Games were called differently, too.
Very different. You got to play defense a little bit, no?
A little bit. Could mug a guy before you get a flag.
Right.
I mean, there was some real, I hear no evil, see no evil type stuff going on with the referees. I mean, I kept on going, where are the holding calls? You just didn't see any holding calls. You didn't see it in both semifinal games either on Thursday and Friday. They didn't call a single holding penalty in either game that I can remember. It was defensive holding, but not offensive holding. It was just go crazy. And it continued over into the playoffs, into the Saturday and Sunday, where I kept on going okay, I like the fact that there's no flags, but it's difficult to handicap that because in the regular season, I think there are flags, especially with teams that like to throw the ball vertically. There's some flags you expect to get once or twice a game, and those flags were not coming out. I mean, it looked like the NHL postseason.
Good call, Jimmy Football.
That's a good point. I mean, you could really. I'm not against it. Okay, I don't hate it. I like the fact that you can play defense. I like the fact that the secondary actually can be handsy and whatnot, but it looked different. I'm not gonna lie, it looked different.
Yeah, it's. I like it. I don't know. A lot of people may not like it, but I like the defense.
Yes,
being able to do what they're doing. I mean, it seemed like it was very physical. There were calls and hits that were done that I think in a regular season is an automatic flag, and they weren't called.
Mm-hmm.
I think if everybody understands it at the beginning, it's clear. It's just, it's got to be understood, because I think adjustments were made. Well, I mean, in most of the games, there was no adjustments made in Baltimore for Steelers, but that was a whole nother thing. But I mean, the line on KC and the Texans is 8.5. 8.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the books did what they're supposed to do. Put out the number and find out where the top is. I say this all the time. The last thing you want to do a lot of times is put out a number and take a bet on the favorite. Because you're like, oh boy, well, it came a little bit light. Okay, they like 8.5. Great. I mean,
came right down.
We'll talk about it all week.
Didn't open at 9.5?
I think somebody may have put it at 9.5, but I think the numbers I saw were 8.5 at the high. And
I saw 9.5, and it was bet immediately to 8.5. Like it was.
Yeah, that was somebody just put that up there for the teaser protection.
Yep.
I think you have to, again, JC from KC, put your earmuffs on. KC hasn't been the blowout KC that they have been in years past. I mean,
I know it's such a gift to get Houston. Oh, it's such a gift.
Why? I think if they would have played the Chargers again, with a week to prepare and they already know them, yes, you think the division team might have a better chance. But my goodness, I mean,
only because it would have been 4 consecutive road games for LA.
That's hard.
It's really hard to go on the road 4 straight weeks. So it would have been probably a tired Chargers team. But my God, compared to what's going to happen in the other game, I mean, the other game is an absolute knockdown, drag out, Rocky versus Clubber Lang type of fight. I mean, this is going to be just ridiculous.
It's literally going to be the most watched game of all of football. It's going to be
more than Bills Chiefs. I don't know if Bills Chiefs happens. I think that game beats it.
Well, up to this point.
Oh yeah, of course.
The Baltimore Buffalo heavyweight fight is going to be just like the whole weekend's building to that, and it's 3:30 Pacific on Sunday. Late window, 6:30 Eastern. My goodness gracious.
Saturday's games could be epic. I mean, epic in terms of just games you have to watch and games you have to sit back and be a part of. Like it's going to be fun. We'll get to the bracket here in just 1 second, but your Steelers got routed by the Ravens on Saturday. They were down 21-0 at the half. Pittsburgh became the first team in NFL history to have 10 wins in the regular season, but end the season on a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Is this the end for Tomlin?
No.
It's not.
No, his contract's good for another couple of years. They're not going to pay somebody and not coach. No. But I think changes have to be made.
Okay, so who's the quarterback next year?
I wish I knew. If I knew, I'd be sitting next to Omar. I don't think they know.
You want rookie or you want established?
I saw pictures over the weekend of Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers uniform.
It's Sam Darnold.
It's not happening.
No, it's Sam Darnold.
Is it?
Yeah, if you want the best veteran quarterback who's available, who you have the money to pay, it's Sam Darnold.
Let's just think about that for a second. This was the guy that saw ghosts.
It is.
Sam Darnold in Pitt. King of car seats likes it.
If
they didn't even play yet, King of car seats. You already got this guy out the door.
If the Vikings are serious, it doesn't matter in your mind. Like, hold on. Katie, she likes the hat, Dave.
Katie, I wore this for you. I figured you would like this.
I mean, look, we did this in August. It's very rare that you and I get seasons correctly. Nail it. We nailed the Steelers. We said, look, this team is going to go right up to the height, and everyone's going to be like, this team is a Super Bowl contender. Go back and watch us break down the Steelers season. We did it in August. We said with the schedule that they have, they may not win a game after Thanksgiving. And they won one after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, things just fell apart for them because the schedule they didn't play a conference game until December, right? Or was it late November?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really hard. So when does Darnold turn back into a pumpkin? I don't know. If you give him $40 million a year.
Oh, man.
It might be tough to swallow.
We're just saying in chat they'll go cheap and it will be Cousins. Joel, what are you trying to do to me right now? Can't be Kirk Cousins.
Why not? That's not horrible.
What do you mean that's not horrible? What,
He's better
he
than Russell
just
Wilson.
got benched in Atlanta.
Better than Russell Wilson. I mean, I'd rather have Kirk Cousins over Russell Wilson. So,
Oh my goodness.
if Justin Fields isn't your quarterback next year, and everybody in Pittsburgh says that he would have played if he was actually any good, he would have been the guy, and he wasn't the guy. So it's not Justin Fields. They'll both be out. Fields and Russ will both be out. Kirk Cousins is not horrible. That's not horrible. He doesn't turn the ball over as much as others do.
Just list the quarterbacks, somebody please, in the chat that they've had since Roethlisberger's last year.
A lot. But you haven't drafted a quarterback, and you haven't developed a quarterback.
No, we drafted Kenny Pickett. It didn't work out.
That was a mistake from the get-go.
That set them back now.
On draft night, that was a mistake. I said that to you before. I said, what are you doing taking a kid from home? It doesn't work. 2 gloves in Pittsburgh. I was like, you're going to draft a guy to play in the cold who wears 2 gloves to play football, play quarterback? It's a bad idea.
I don't know. It's
Career backup.
So that's the problem. I think more so than anything, the most important position on the field is quarterback.
Got to get that right.
Got to get that right. We got to get somebody in there that's going to play the position and allow everyone else to thrive. Another wide receiver would help. I don't know.
Sure.
What
Yeah.
Pickens is
On the
going
other
on there. Like
he's such a
post-game.
head case, though. He's such an annoying.
Oh man, there's so much going on with that whole thing.
He's got to stop it. The whole thing it's just bad. Like whole thing on George Pickens is bad. Body language is bad.
Thank you, Nikki Ciramello. Look at this list: Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges. Who could forget Duck Hodges? Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields are all the QBs since Big Ben. So when you get a quarterback that lasts for 15 years like Ben did, you don't have to put like at some point there should have been a backup plan. And I guess maybe it was Mason Rudolph they were thinking, and it didn't work out. And then they panicked, and Kenny Pickett didn't work out. And now what?
So here's the thing about Darnold. Been great for the Vikes, but JJ was one of the top quarterbacks in that draft class. Yes, JJ McCarthy got hurt. Tonight will decide the QB future of the Vikes. Why tonight? Because there are many who say it doesn't matter what Sam Darnold does, that JJ McCarthy will be the coach, will be the quarterback next year because the coach wants it. Kevin O'Connell wants JJ McCarthy because he's cheap. They want the rookie contract, not what they'll have to pay Sam Darnold.
You sent me that thing over the weekend about the quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. That $4 million is more than 8 quarterbacks will make next year in the NFL who will start for teams.
$4 million for Carson Beck to go play at Miami. You can't get a quarterback in the NFL. And then because of the structure of the salary cap, if you get a quarterback that pays too much, you can't get other positions and you're mired in mediocrity.
Okay. You know what, Clown? This is a good question. Because everybody does the Brady Belichick baloney.
Oh, Clown MB3 coming
Why don't we
here.
do the Big Ben, Mike Tomlin stuff? That maybe it was all Big Ben and not Tomlin.
Wow.
It's nonsense. It's wrong. Wrong for the Belichick Patriot conversation. It's wrong to question Tomlin with Big Ben on top of that.
Tomlin did okay with Big Ben.
Would you be willing to, if Mike McCarthy was your coach, would you be okay with that?
Oh,
Patriots just brought their native son home.
Jeez. The thing with the Steelers is that they hire a guy and it's like a decade minimum.
Okay.
So you have to think long-term for the next hire. I don't know if Mike McCarthy's a long-term fix. If there needs to be a bridge between the Tomlin and the next guy, whomever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe, but is Mike McCarthy the answer? I mean, yeah, Steeler fans. No,
Steeler fans, they've seen him. Yeah, they've seen him. They know what McCarthy's all about.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, Rainmaker. There's a lot of truth to the mirror image.
Hi, Rain.
There is some truth to that for sure.
Lewis is out driving around listening to Pittsburgh radio today, and it's on
boy.
fire. It's just that nobody.
Of course, they're furious.
Yeah.
Are the Ravens playing their best football right now?
I mean, they can play better. Like what can they do better?
Well, right now, I think both sides of the football are peaking because the offense has been consistent and steady, and they did it without Zay Flowers, which I think will be okay. He'll be back for this week, I imagine. But it's the defense for the Ravens that has not gotten the respect or the accolades over the last 2 months. And we've gone back to basically week 10 and said, okay, weeks 1 to 10, they couldn't stop anybody. Their pass defense was pathetic. Well, things are much different now for the Ravens. They're playing defense. They're getting after the quarterback. They're stopping the run. They've always stopped the run. They're the best rush defensive team in football.
Yeah.
But now their secondary is playing. Now they figure things out, and now they're stopping teams, and it's getting really difficult to move the ball.
Caboli posted. You guys know Mark Caboli he's doing the Pat McAfee correspondent thing. I don't know, he's a writer. He said TJ Watt posted a clean sheet on Saturday, meaning he didn't touch anything. There it is. Thank you, JC from KC. Didn't touch the stat sheet. 0 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 anything. I think you got to give a little bit of credit, rightly so, to the Ravens offensive line.
Yeah.
They're doing an unbelievable job. I mean, Henry is a battering ram.
Yeah, he really is.
But he's running through holes that are
Gaping.
Gigantic. So, I mean, when you give him a head of steam and he don't get touched for 3, 4, 5 yards, and you got, I mean, poor Mika Fitzpatrick tried to come up and tackle him, and he threw him off like a rag doll. I can't,
because he's huge. I mean, he's just to see the size of the guy. He's a monster. To see him running, I want no part of the guy.
No, not at all. Can they cover people? I mean, how do you beat them? You're asking if they're playing their best football right now. How do you beat the Ravens? I mean, we got Buffalo
Turnovers.
and Baltimore.
Turnovers. Lamar
and
turns
Buffalo's
the ball
favored.
over. Buffalo should be favored. They're home.
It's pick 'em. They asked me my send out. I sent out pick 'em. I said, just make it pick 'em. Like, I know Buffalo's at home. So what? First bet is on Baltimore if you get them as a dog. And now Circa's at -1 up top. Baltimore's favored. Everyone else is pick.
I mean, the thing about the offense right now, Lamar is playing at an elite level, throwing the football. That's what's making Henry's life so easy. Is you're facing a quarterback who's thrown over 40 touchdown passes this year. You're seeing guys like Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers who are open like crazy, and then guys like Rashad Bateman, hurting defenses down the field and getting mismatches against safeties. So then you have to go and help. You have to be worried about the touchdown pass going over your head. When you help, then Derrick Henry gets to run against a lighter box, and it's all over.
Pause. A lighter box?
Yes.
Carpet match the curtains?
I don't know. Maybe.
Less people in the box. How about that?
Fine. You don't see 6, 7, 8. You see 4, you see 5.
Right.
And then he's getting, the holes that you're talking about. And when he gets a head of steam going, forget it. Like, you just can't touch the guy.
Not to mention, when things go bad,
yep,
Lamar's made mistakes in the past. Like he's made bad throws or, not been able to run and get the first down or whatever. Like, he's running as good now as he has ever. He's making decisions to continue drives. When you get him in 3rd and 8, that used to be, we're going to get him off the field.
Right.
And now they're making them.
Well, they're also not
ever in 3rd and 8 either.
And the guy in the backfield, it used to be Lamar Jackson was the best player on the field all the time. When the Ravens were on offense, Lamar Jackson was by far the best player on the field. That's not really the case with Henry.
No.
Depends on what's going on with Henry, but he ran for over 160 yards in the first matchup against you guys, or second matchup, the game in Baltimore. So I parlayed anytime touchdown with Henry over 99.5 rushing yards. Well, he blew through that in the first half. He got that in the first half. It's one of the easiest prop bets, one of the easiest parlays I've hit all year was just Henry going in. It was a plus 140 parlay. So DraftKings lets you do that. I would do it again up against the Bills. Like, he's going to get the football and he's going to pick up yardage. He's going to run for 100. He's going to score a touchdown coming up against the Buffalo Bills. You saw it, up against the Broncos. The Broncos had a running game. The Broncos might have been in that game. But because they couldn't run the football, and it wasn't because the Bills stopped them, it's because their offensive line couldn't do anything. The Bills don't have a running attack. It's the quarterback. That's it. The Ravens have both, the quarterback and the running back, who can go and pick up first downs running the football. So I think Henry's going to have another big day running the ball. I mean, yes, giving up 300 yards is embarrassing. I'll give you that. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Yeah. To be run on like that, that's tough. That's tough. When did Lamar's mom cuss him out, KD?
Wow.
Ravens are 5-0 since Lamar's
mom cussed him out. Listen, sometimes the moms know too. The moms always know. They tell you about it as well. You have to see my mom last week. Happy birthday, Mom, by the way. I celebrate her birthday.
Oh, very nice.
Her call later. It was 2 days ago, but I texted her. I haven't talked to her yet. She's been very busy. The game plays to the over or to the under? What's your first thought?
It's a playoff game. Under.
Yeah, see, I think it's over, over.
Everything.
Yeah. I think it's an over. Only because I don't think Buffalo's stopping them. I think Buffalo has to score with them. I think Buffalo's going to pass, right? But I mean, Cook looked great. Ran the ball pretty well.
Other prop bet I hit really easily was over 57.5 yards rushing for James Cook.
Number was a little light.
A little light. It was really light.
Little short.
Opened at 55.5 for James Cook. Somebody forgot to check the playoffs that you run the football in the playoffs.
What do you guys think, boys and girls in the chat? Ravens, Bills, over, under today. We could change this by Friday. We'll be here all week. But I'm curious what the thought process is there.
Well, the steam that came on the Broncos made no sense to me. I couldn't get over it.
Oh, yeah.
It came in heavy. I mean, everyone was on Denver. It was groupthink time. 2-point move.
You had to have the number what it was for the teasers and the money line parlays that you knew you were inevitably writing and taking and going, okay. And then the rhombuses and the parallelograms came with bags and Brinks trucks and said, yeah, Denver plus the points. They're going to cover. They were wrong.
Boy, were they ever wrong.
They were wrong.
I mean,
rookie quarterback, first road start.
They went up 7-0. They're patting themselves on the back after they went up 7-0 that first drive.
Well, I mean, I got to give Sean Payton credit. Like, he turned that team into something pretty quickly, and they were playing to win. Yeah. They did a fake punt. The punter dropped that dime in there, and then they couldn't get anything. I felt like right then, when they got the fake punt, I was like, wow, Denver's going to hang around here for a little bit. And then they had 3 and out right after the fake punt. Buffalo goes down and gets a score, and it was like, okay, this is going to hang around a number. And then in the second half, Buffalo just said, no, we're not hanging around nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they just boat raced them after halftime. Denver couldn't move the football. Like, they just couldn't complete passes. They couldn't run. Yeah. You got to be a complete team. If you're going to beat a team on the road like the Bills, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Ravens, you got to be a complete football team. You got to be able to do both. You got to be able to run the ball. Got to be able to pick up first downs in multiple ways. You got to have a defense that's going to be able to get off the field on 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5. And I mean, the teams that lost couldn't do that. The teams that lost weren't able to convert those key moments. They couldn't get the key stop. And so you become one-dimensional and you're just sitting there. Yeah, Denver had a chance to be tied at halftime. That doink did hurt. I'm not going to lie. When you smack the upright, it was 10-7.
Yeah.
Should have been 10-10. And then they couldn't do anything in the second half. I don't know if it killed momentum or just the Bills decided to say, we're not going to play around anymore. And we're going to go ahead and take care of business. But speaking of taking care of business, What's the craziest thing you've done on a tailgate, Dave?
A beer funnel.
A beer funnel. That's the craziest thing you've done. Really? That's the craziest?
I'm not a crazy type of guy.
Okay.
Why? You?
I'm not a big tailgate person, so I can't say I've been
Went
to
around the SEC schools all them times. You didn't get crazy?
I mean, I don't know. We partied the night before. We couldn't party day of. I was working day of. So night before, yeah, we got nuts. But is that a tailgate or is it just a party?
Well, that was the question. That's
Well,
what
no,
I
because a
mean. I was
tailgate
like
to
you. I
me-
went to the game to watch the game, not to get crazy and
A tailgate to
whacked.
me is Saturday kickoff. And so you're pre-gaming, you're eating, you're partying, you're jumping through tables on day of.
Who does that?
Our boy Emerson did that.
I know.
Our boy Emerson.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get DraftKings mad at us, so I just took a screenshot. I didn't take down the whole video to play the whole video. But that's our boy Emerson jumping off of a ladder in Bill's Mafia over the weekend,
Yeah.
going through a table. And I asked him, he said, be honest, that hurt, right? He said, the ground's hard.
So stupid.
You think that's stupid, huh?
Yeah, I do.
You
I
think
mean, I'm
jumping-
happy other people are doing it. I'm not doing it ever. I don't care if they go to the Super Bowl. I don't know what kind of bag of the money has to be at the bottom of that for me to land in, but it better be a lot because I'm old and I don't want to get hurt. And
That's
then
got to
jump into
hurt a
table.
lot. Like it's right to the ground. There's no give.
I'm
Like
wearing
that
my
table.
hockey equipment if I do it.
It's a
tell you
card
that.
table. It folds just like in 2 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
Like, he's how bad is he hurting? Yeah, he said he goes, I lived, bitch. That's what he said.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But he was able to get himself,
I'm proud of him. That's good.
part of Phil. He's now part of Bill's Mafia. He's been married into it for 12 years, but he had never gone up there and actually partied.
I'll tell you what, this is such, I mean, can you imagine the season they're having and they got to play the Ravens? Like, couldn't it work out where they get the Texans and at least get another shot at the Chiefs? Like, this could all end before they get another shot at the Chiefs.
I think it probably does end before they get another shot at the Chiefs.
Tommy the Lips coming on this week to give us the
I mean, I'll
Bills
keep it right
side
now.
of things.
Buffalo is, the Chiefs, I think, hope the Bills win. The Chiefs have a better shot at beating Buffalo than they do beating the Ravens.
Was the opening game of the season the Ravens and the Chiefs?
Yeah,
Right,
and
with
then
the toe.
in Likely's toe at the end, they should have beat them. They should have won
I mean, how can we get this? Like,
in Arrowhead, same place.
It's like it's going to repeat itself again. With the
And maybe
opening
this
game,
time
like
it goes. Oh, if the game was at Baltimore, would it be -3 Baltimore? Yes, if it was in Baltimore. Ravens at Kansas City, AFC Championship game. Boy, what's the number? Can't make the Chiefs dogs, right?
no, small.
1.5.
Again, depending on injuries and things like that, if everything just goes as normal, I mean, we might have to listen, if the Ravens go and lay it on the Bills,
Mm-hmm.
pick might be generous. Pick might be generous
Wow.
in Arrowhead. Yeah. And, if the
that's-
Chiefs just win on a late field goal or it's 24-20, which is, right where the total looks like it's going to be, it's sitting at 41.5. Is it supposed to be uncomfortably cold
Mm-hmm.
in Kansas City?
Weather could be a factor.
Oh, I don't know if it's
In
if
both
anything
case-
that's
Casey and
here is
Buffalo
going to
both.
be there in a couple days.
Yeah.
It's going to be super cold back
Yeah.
east, boys.
Yep.
It's freezing outside here. I mean, it's like freezing relative, but like highs
No,
of 43.
30. It was 33 degrees this morning. It was freezing, like legit. Like
Yesterday, I took a picture of my phone where it said it's 34, but feels like 19.
the wind's
Woo!
biting.
Is it chilly?
Yeah, the wind's biting. So I think what's interesting about the AFC, and we'll get to the NFC here in a second, it's similar, but like there are such incredible storylines in the AFC from a legacy standpoint, because from a Bills perspective, Josh Allen, if he goes through his whole career and doesn't get to a Super Bowl, it's a worse career than Dan Marino. I mean, like everyone's waiting for Josh Allen to get past. If he can't get past, even Manning and Roethlisberger during the Brady era won Super Bowls. Like they were able to win Super Bowls even though it was the Tom Brady 20-year run, they still won Super Bowls during that era. If Josh Allen can't win a Super Bowl in the Mahomes era, yikes. Like he's the chosen one. And then the same thing for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a 2-time MVP. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's with a Hall of Fame coach. They went and spent the money to bring in a running back that everyone was like, how did you let Lamar Jackson get Derrick Henry? Like, how in the hell did the league let that happen? Like, what are you guys doing? You can't let anybody, you can't let Lamar have that guy. And if he can't win a Super Bowl in the Mahomes era, there's a lot of legacy on the line.
But this is really, it is hard to be that team. Believe me, there were times in Pittsburgh where the Steelers were that team. They were the NPC in the whole game where it was like, man, they're good, but they're not that good. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. And Houston can do everybody a favor. Hashtag anyone but the Chiefs, Chef Benny. Man, oh man, you're such a hater. Patriot talk. Got your coach. You're back. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, let these people have this. This is the Chiefs test. Like this solidifies everything.
Nick, Tom, I'm not saying that Mahomes is going to win every one. I'm just saying that if they can't get past Mahomes, if they can't get to win a Super Bowl, if they go and lose, like we've seen it with Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's great. Joe Burrow lost. Like you got there, that's great, but you lost.
Yeah, but they beat him in Kansas City.
But they lost in the Super Bowl. They didn't win at all. They beat the Chiefs.
They didn't win at all. Get to the Super Bowl, you can't always control that either. I mean, yes, you want to win it.
You have to win the whole thing. It doesn't matter if getting there means nothing.
You got to get there. You have like the AFC road is a gauntlet right now. Like if you're not one of those
that have gotten
teams,
there, you got to win it. It's not getting there that matters. It's getting there and winning it.
Well, ultimately, yes, but you got to get there first.
4. The Lions have never been there. Like,
right,
you got to win the damn thing. Like, forget about getting there. Getting there is great, but that's just a participation trophy. Like, you got to get there and win the damn thing.
Yeah, you got to
do all that work
first. You got to get that. It's a step. You have to get to the final before you can win the final. If you can't get there,
why? That wasn't the case for the Rams. The Rams didn't need to do that. There wasn't a step for Sean McVay. Got there and won it. He's been in one Super Bowl. He won it. You got to get there and win.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is true, Nick, that Josh and Lamar each will get one in the next 10 years. I don't know if I'd make that bet. I'm not so sure that's the case. There's a lot of teams in the NFC. The Lions are going to have a say here in all of this. Like, the Lions are as hungry, if not hungrier, than any fan base in city and franchise in the NFL. Like, they are desperate. They will do whatever they can do to win a Super Bowl. They'll spend whatever they got to spend to win the Super Bowl. And they might get Hutchinson back. They might get their best defensive player back for the Super Bowl. And like, that's lurking in the background for the Lions. So just because you get there as a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen doesn't mean you win it, because the team on the other side is equally as hungry.
Right. That's what I mean. So you gotta get there first, and then take your chances. Whatever, you win a game, that's great. Don't forget the boys in the chat are reminding you the Rams did lose to the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and that 13-3 just was funny. I saw some people out of the book. Yeah,
who was the quarterback? That was Stafford.
Yeah,
who was Stafford?
No, it was
Goff. Who was the quarterback? No. It was Jared Goff. Oh, it was Jared Goff. That's why. Okay. So Stafford was the one they went once and won it. Okay. I knew Stafford's 1-0 in the Super Bowl. So I just assumed McVay was 1-0 as well. Okay. So McVay's 1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Different quarterback. Changed the quarterback.
A couple people were in town this week collecting. Saw an unbelievable tweet from General Mitchie Moss on Twitter. He's hilarious, but he follows a lot of the guys. He said he got a text from a friend who was on a double-decker bus in Vegas with $225,000 worth of Super Bowl or season win futures and stuff in his pocket, going to collect. A lot of people were in town this week tying up loose ends, contest signups, or
got some stuff for it.
Yeah. But I saw somebody who put in there, it was a great tweet. I'll ask the chat. What Super Bowl, if you ask a bettor, what Super Bowl between blank and blank do you remember the most? Like, and he said, if you're a professional bettor, which Super Bowl was it? And hands down, it's the Patriots beating the Rams 13-3 because every prop went under. Every single one. The pros, the books, like the in-game we made. That was the most ridiculous. Like when we graded that game, we stood up and we had guys in the room almost crying. The number was so big. We all thought we were going to get a bonus. We were wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was brutal. But yeah, I mean, you got one. The Atlanta comeback.
That's not a betting perspective, though.
Well, a lot of people made a lot of money on that one coming back. But the game.
You got to realize, I never bet the Patriots when they got to a Super Bowl. I never put $1 on it.
Oh,
I was petrified to do that. I was strictly there to watch it. I was not. I bet all the way up too, but when it got to the actual game, no freaking way. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was just like, "Yo, we're watching this."
So you're acknowledging that you're a jinx.
I'm a jinx. I'm acknowledging that I don't want to get anywhere near tipping scales in any form or fashion and play with that type of juju. I'm just not messing with the universe. I'm not trying to push. That's why I love being in the content space, because I can bet on every Super Bowl, because the Patriots haven't been in it for 5 years. So it's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
It's great. I can keep on betting
Despite
it.
the Shangri-La that's going on up there right now, it's going to be a while.
I'm going to guarantee you this. My team is in a Super Bowl before yours. And it's going to be quick. Patriots are going to turn around. They're going to be there quick.
Really?
No one wants to hear this. They have $120 million in cap space. They have the 4th pick in the draft. They have their quarterback in Drake May. We have seen teams do it very quickly in the very recent time, go from 4 wins to 12 wins and be a very difficult team to face.
Okay.
Just saying. Broncos were real bad last year till they got a coach. And they had they had no cap space because of the Russell Wilson deal. Patriots have $120 million to play with.
Okay.
In cap space next year, not like over the next 5 years.
Right.
1 year, they have $120 million. You can give a lot of players $20 million to be really, really good next year. So it's going to be fun. And I can't go get Cheetah. Sure. I mean, I don't know. Does Cheetah want to play in New England though? Playing in Miami and Kansas City. You want to go play with Drake May?
I think he wants to go back to KC.
I don't know. I don't think he can go back to Kansas City. Not with the things he said about the Chiefs. Yes, the Patriots are going to go try to get T. Higgins. That's the number one target is T. Higgins. Go get him. They're going to draft a left tackle or Abdul Carter, one of the two. So they're going to draft either, a guy who's going to get after the quarterback or a guy who's going to protect the quarterback, one of the two. 2nd round pick will be a wide receiver. They'll spend in the free agent market. I guarantee you they're going to go get at least 1 tight end, if not 2 with Vrabel. They're going to run the football and play defense.
Yeah.
They're going to look a lot like the Baltimore Ravens, except that they're going to have a quarterback that wants to run a little bit, not like Lamar, who wants to run all the time.
Right.
Chargers should push for Hill. See? Told you. Can't go back to KC. They don't want him in Kansas City.
JC from KC would welcome him back with open arms.
I don't know.
If he helped that offense, he'd welcome him back.
Clown, I think Washington right now is a hotter place to land with Jaden Daniels than Patriots. I think Washington's going to have a lot of people wanting to play with a guy like that.
Vrabel's going to build the lines, the offensive and defensive lines. When he does that, then New England will become that place. They got a little whiles away.
The Titans ran him out. It's so wild. Look at how bad they hired Brian Callahan. Brian Callahan. I've always been a Patriot fan, Scott. Yes. I'm see this thing here.
Born and raised, he's the Bostonian.
See
I'm the book guy. He's the Bostonian
that thing
guy.
right there. Yes.
Yes.
Boy, you see all these things behind me over here? These are all New England things.
Red Sox stuff.
Yeah.
It's all there.
It's all there. Yeah. This right here, those are the 4 old school New England. That's old Fenway. That's Sullivan Stadium right there. That's where the Patriots used to play.
Yeah.
Back in the day, TD Garden is now being it's a picture of the Boston Garden. Those are all 4 old school New England.
Buddy Goose put out a tremendous tweet of the Boston Garden half demolished, so you could see inside
of it.
And people were putting their memories.
Did you know that
there?
The Boston Garden and the TD Garden were 6 inches apart? When they demoed it and they brought it down, it was 6 inches. It was a marvel. It was an engineering and demolition marvel. It was that close, and it came straight down.
You can do a lot with 6 inches.
It's
unbelievable. They knocked down buildings 6 inches away.
Apart. Yeah.
Woo!
To make it work.
Yeah.
We go to the Eagles game against the Packers. Eagles offense up 10-0 at the break.
Yeah.
And yet they hang on to win and cover 22-10.
Yeah.
Did you ever read books while you played sports during the games?
I'm a big book reader.
I know, but did you ever take a book
books
to the sideline like A.J. Brown?
No!
A.J. Brown was reading on the sidelines. They caught him reading, and they got the book. They got and they got
number one bestseller. It became overnight.
Really?
Went to the top of every list. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Inner excellence. Yep. Yeah. I saw a tweet with the passage that he had open and was reading. Listen, whatever works, if that's what you have to do, I don't think, like, if I was coaching the kids and they saw him reading a book in the dugout, I'd kind of be a little perturbed. Like,
a little bit. You'd be pissed off. You'd be like, what are you doing? Because what book are you reading? Like, I think if he's reading a book about excellence, he's reading a book about personal accomplishment and achievement and trying to keep his mind right, I think I might be a little bit less hesitant to be upset. But like if he's reading like a graphic novel in the middle of the game, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you reading that?
Yeah.
Stop it. Like, support your teammates. Get on the sideline. Watch the game. Like, what are we doing?
I think you can learn a lot watching the game. Like if you're not in the game.
Yep.
That's the way I've always done it.
Pros are a bit different because of how long they've played it and everything else. I understand that, but come on.
I get it. But yeah, I don't know what that was. Just what the Eagles needed. More drama.
Hey, like Kincaid's like, thank you. I appreciate the extra content.
Right.
I get to talk about AJ Brown and what book he's reading.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a Eagles book club now.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what? There's so many things that can go with that. Brennan says AJ Brown is such a diva.
He is.
One ball.
He is a diva, but
one catch, I think, right?
Yes. He is a weapon that when he is going, and I think the Eagles will use him more next week, he's a really hard guy to stop. He's really good. Really, really good.
If that kept him calm.
That's what he said. He goes, I'll try. It helps me keep my inner peace, he said.
Okay.
No, there you go. Here's some good news for Dave, though. You've had some bad news. There's some good news for you.
CBW per ESPN. Breaking news. Penn State running back Katron Allen and Nick Singleton are both returning to Happy Valley next season, both announced on social media. Load up, boys. Here we go.
So now your entire backfield's back. Quarterback and both running backs are back next year.
That's good. Hope the linemen, some of them are back too.
Just to lose again in a big game with James.
Relax. Going to go to Columbus and win next season. I didn't look at the schedule yet.
Who's the quarterback for Ohio State? It's not Will Howard.
I don't even know.
They don't know who's the quarterback, so I can't say yes or no until the quarterback.
They're going to Columbus is going to win.
Although,
I mean, it used to know the schedule. Like, I don't know what the schedule is. Maybe they won't play Ohio State next year. Who knows? I didn't look.
No, it's a Big Ten schedule. You have to play that. That's what the Big Ten.
You don't have to play anybody. I mean, there's too many teams in the Big Ten now. I know, but maybe they won't play Ohio State. I don't know. Somebody put the Big Ten or
right
Penn
now.
State schedule in 2025.
Your schedule, you play at Ohio State on the 1st of November. Wow, you have a schedule. Okay.
What?
Your road games are at UCLA, at Iowa, at Ohio State, at Michigan State, and at Rutgers.
Wait, say that again. At UCLA.
Ruh-roh. You play at UCLA.
Is there a date for that game?
October the 4th.
I
Rose
guess I'll
Bowl.
be there for that. All right.
Saturday, October the 4th.
Okay.
You play at Kinnick Stadium.
At Iowa?
At Iowa.
What time? What year? What day is that?
Saturday, October 18th.
Still nice in Iowa in October, no?
You go at Iowa, bye week at Ohio State.
Ooh, okay.
And then you play home for Indiana and then at Michigan State. Nebraska goes to you
Okay.
at Beaver Stadium on the 22nd of November, and you end the year at Rutgers.
Good seats still available. At Rutgers. Wow. Okay. So who are the home games? Coming to Iowa City to lose, Joel. All right, we'll talk about that. We'll see about that.
Your home games in conference, you play non-conference, you play Nevada, FIU, and Villanova.
Wow. Monsters there.
Yep.
Good
And
seats
then you
still
play-
available for all those.
You play Oregon to open Big Ten play. Rematch of the Big Ten title game.
Oh, boy.
Then you play at UCLA. Then you play Northwestern at home.
Okay,
at
good.
Iowa.
Uh-huh.
Bye week at Ohio State.
Uh-huh.
Indiana at
home.
Michigan State.
Okay.
Nebraska at
Oh.
Rutgers.
So no Michigan.
No Michigan. But you play Oregon. I'm not sure that's a good trade.
No USC.
No USC, but you have UCLA on the road.
This whole thing is weird.
You played USC last year, so it's fine. That's a 2-loss schedule.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. Wow, okay. It's a 2-loss schedule. It's
Ooh.
1 home game loss, 1 road game loss. But
Wish we
maybe
could
more.
have Saquon. Saquon looked pretty good.
Jeez, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Put Saquon Barkley back. Okay.
Saquon and the Eagles are going to be just fine, no?
Yeah, I think they'll be just fine. I agree. Commanders ended a 19-year playoff drought with a win at Tampa Bay last night. We both thought that was the one game the books would need. I didn't see the Texans coming, so that was the game that knocked out a lot of the parlays, but this one destroyed the parlays. A lot of people taking chalk favorites. Tampa Bay gets beat on a doink off the upright to win the game 23-20. Jaden Daniels becomes the first rookie quarterback since Russell Wilson to win on the road in the playoffs. Kid's something else, is it not?
It's a perfect example of a whole group, from coach to coordinators to player. Everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't punt. They just went for it. They just, look, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it again. We're going to go. I mean, whether it's right or wrong, they all believe it. Everybody's on the same page. Eckler does what he has to do. I don't feel like they run the ball very well.
It's all
Washington.
because Daniels runs the ball for them. The quarterback's what they do. When they need a 5-yard run, it's their quarterback who gets it.
I know, and that's fine right now. He's 23 and young and pliable. Okay, he took a shot. Did you see that shot he took?
Got a cut. Nice little
Got a-
boxing cut.
Got a cut up top, but did you see the one to the leg sideways when it looked
He's
like
lucky. He's lucky he didn't blow his ACL.
Woo!
That was Brady 2.0. Yep, that was a rumbling, stumbling, bumbling lineman into the knee. Yeah, that could.
sideways?
Yeah, that could have been really bad. Yep, that could have easily taken his knee out.
And he got up.
Yep, quickly got right up.
I was down at the book at Circa, and I turned to those guys and went, "Man, I wish I was young." Like, that looked like that's a year. That hits the wrong guy.
Oh yeah,
Chemo Van Hoffen or whatever the guy's name was that took out. What was the guy's name for Cincinnati? Carson? No, not
Palmer?
Carson Wentz. Carson Palmer.
Yep.
Ended their season.
Yeah,
I mean, he
yeah.
hit him in the knee and it was over. But you
Yeah.
saw the Brady.
Chief
What was the
Clown against
backup
Brady.
score?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But
you wonder why we hate the Chiefs, right? Bernard Pollard and every Chief fan defending Bernard Pollard, going, it wasn't his fault he fell into him. He dove at his knee. Legitimately. Bernard.
oh, right when you were making your point, you froze again. Snap, snap, snap. That was a long freeze right there. Now, go ahead. Go on your pontification about the Chiefs taking a cheap shot at Brady again. What happened?
No, Bernard Pollard ended like 4 quarterbacks' careers in seasons with the injuries. He was notorious for dirty plays. So you wonder why we hate the Chiefs.
Right.
Wonder where the Patriot hatred comes from.
Yeah.
It didn't start with Mahomes. It started with Bernard Pollard. That's where it started. And if Daniels was Brady's age, if he was 30 versus 24, I think his knee goes. He's just 24 years old, so he's young enough to take that hit.
I immediately thought, well, it's Detroit's year.
Right?
But then he got up and he got it done at the end of the game. The doink was unbelievable. I had no idea about the kicker, and he has OCD and all those things. And I watched that guy put his helmet on and off.
The hair thing. I was like, is he okay?
Oh, man.
I was like, what is going on with the hair thing? And then they went and showed the whole routine. I was like, well, that's a little mean. He's fixing his socks and putting his shoes on a certain way and stepping. And then he doinked it off the upright. I was like, oh, my goodness gracious. Like, oh.
I'm watching the game at home by that time, and we have it on. And, the house is watching it, except for Pat, but everybody's on our side. And somebody said, what is he doing with his helmet? And I said, I don't know. He's just, this is his routine. He's putting his helmet on, but he's not putting it on. I'm like, I don't know. And the immediate thought was he's going to miss. He's nervous.
Me making sure the oven's off 19 times before going to.
Right? That's it, king of car seats. You got to check everything. I get it. And so after I read the story and saw that, I was even more excited that he made it.
Oh, absolutely. But I thought he was missing it because I thought he was nervous as hell. I was like, this guy's jumpy as hell. Like, this is a bad situation. And then the ball just kept on fading and fading and fading and fading. And I was like, and then doink, and it deflect in. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness that thing went through. Like, that would have been brutal to miss that kick.
If that misses, I think the Bucks win.
I would agree with you. Yes, I think you're right. That's
like
as deflating
that shot, right? That's the shot.
Yeah, can't miss.
No,
can't miss that shot. Have to hit that, and he did. I mean, he hit it, and now they advance. And that was, I thought Washington was going to go down there and win. Everyone's like, I saw a couple people in the chat going, we should be blaming Baker. Look, guys, Baker Mayfield as an underdog is tremendous. Baker Mayfield as a favorite, you do not bet on Baker Mayfield as a favorite. Baker Mayfield now get this stat, he's 1-11 straight up in his last 11 night games.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy? It must be something with the lights or whatever, but like 1-11 at night.
I don't know, night, day, all that other stuff. Those are good trends, I guess, but he fumbled the ball.
He did.
At inopportune time.
Inopportune. Yeah, one way of describing it.
Inopportune time. It was not good. I didn't know, but he led the league in fumbles.
He also led the league in interceptions too.
So,
turnover machine.
Tampa wasn't going to Washington or going to Detroit and winning. I don't think Washington's going to Detroit and winning. It's a fun story.
No,
it's been good up to this point.
But the Lions factor in big time for tonight. This is wild. The Vikings schedule is repeating itself. The Vikings played the Lions and got crushed, and then went to the Rams and lost by 10
earlier in the season
this year, and back-to-back weeks. They lost.
So the game they lost to the Lions was in Minnesota, because the last game of the season was the game against Detroit.
Correct. Okay, yeah, right. But the game against the Rams was at the Rams.
Right. So they lost at home to the Lions.
Turned around,
and
went to
the
Rams.
Out to Rams and lost
by 10
in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And so this is the trend here about teams that are playing the Lions the next week. Teams after facing the Lions are 6-10 straight up this year, 4-12, failing to cover by over 8 points. Over the last 3 years, when teams the week after facing Dan Campbell are 18-31 against the number. That's the least profitable previous opponent ATS in the NFL over the last 3 seasons.
Damn, bro.
It feels like it's the Rams again. That it's history repeating itself. That the Vikings and the money's coming in here on the Rams. We're down to -2 for the Vikings.
Oh,
You can't play the week after you play the Lions, you get smoked.
Yeah, it's painted 2.5. I think the venue change
Helps.
was actually one of the reasons why the move went back. I mean, the game was pick'em before the venue
It was
change.
2 this morning, though. I mean, it was down to 1.5 at Circa this morning when I saw it.
So now,
how about Matthew Stafford this year, by the way? Stafford's won 4 games this year outright as a dog, second most in his career. He's won 2 straight games outright as a dog entering this game. The only other time in his career he won 3 straight games as a dog outright in the same year was back in 2022, and the third win in that streak was in the playoffs against the Bucs. Yeah, I agree. A lot of snowbirds in Phoenix. Sure. Going to be there tonight. I'll give you that.
Friend of the show, James Farah, is flying down to go to the game. I flew down last night. So they will be well represented, I'm sure. They don't play. They don't play defense. They don't tackle. They don't score. The fans.
No, but they create atmospheres.
I don't know what kind of atmosphere is going to be created in Phoenix tonight. It's going to be interesting.
Matthew Stafford is 1-3 in true road playoff games, straight up. Neutral or at home, hasn't lost. He's 3-0.
So I'm sitting with Derek and Nicole yesterday briefly, and I'm like, I asked them one question, who would you rather play?
Okay.
And they said, well, if Washington wins, we're playing Washington. So they were kind of rooting for Washington. Young quarterback, all this other stuff. Like it's perfect, I think. And so Nicole says to me, did you hear about Stafford? I said, no. She was watching E! Online. She sent me the story afterward.
Okay.
Stafford's 2 kids. So, Phoenix stepped up and flew the families down and all this other stuff. Stafford's 2 kids are in the hospital, sick.
With what?
Down there. Oh, something. There's something going through that house. And as a dad, and you guys all know as moms and dads, and when the house gets sick, a lot of people in the house get sick.
People bet that Notre Dame flu game. How'd that turn out for them?
Listen, Aller threw the pick. They were going to be right. Penn State was going to win that game until he threw that pick.
Okay, but
I'm just telling you, there might be something to it that he might be sick.
I don't buy that with this. I don't buy that. I don't buy any of this crap. I don't buy any of it.
You'll buy stats about guys at night, though. I mean,
yes, of course, because I actually have evidence. I don't know for a fact how someone's feeling. I don't know whether someone's sick or not. I don't know if the family is sick or Stafford's been quarantined away from the kids, or if his wife's got it, or they got sick doing some sleep number bed commercial. Like, who knows? It's all hypothetical.
All right.
I can tell you 1-11 is 1-11. Like that's a real trend. Who's sick? When did they leave? How far away did they go? Did Matthew see it and stayed away from all of them? They're in the hospital. Are they still in the hospital today? Or were they in the hospital?
Yeah, I guess they are.
Still, right now.
Yep. That's what the report said. I'm just telling you.
16 minutes ago. She's
E! Online.
4 daughters are all in the hospital. How are all 4 of them in the hospital?
There's a lot of stuff going around.
Yeah, but how all 4 of them? Like, what?
You've been around, like it goes around. Yeah. Call me Jared. Just dropped a super chat. Thank you, sir. Hashtag replay crew in the house. Just wanted to check in and see and say hi. Awesome hats. Rams winning tonight. Let's go Cavs. Incredible year. Cheers, boys. All right, call me Jared. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to this at all.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything. They're not. I'm looking at a picture of his kids. They have an IV. That's it. Like there's no monitor. There's no nothing. They're just
Sick is sick.
Sick is sick, but they've got IVs. And are they sick in the hospital because they're not in their house, so they get nowhere to go? So, like, do you want to be sick at a hotel room or do you want to be sick at a hospital?
Much rather be sick in a hotel room.
Really? I don't know. If my kids, I'd rather be in a hospital. Make sure my kids are going to be okay.
All right.
Versus being alone in some. There's been a strong intestinal viruses going around the last few months.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think the Rams are very live tonight for this.
Oh, I mean, the game's a pick 'em. I think we get a game like we did last night, except I think the game goes over.
Oh, I teased it up 1 under.
That's fine. He's going to fall right around the number.
For 54 is a lot of points. I was like 54. I was like, come on. And I because I did that same teaser with the Washington game. If you pulled it down and went over, it missed. It's 44.5. I teased it up and went under. And it came in. So
yeah,
same
the
thing.
all-way teasers covered in a couple of those games. Bookies were crying. Like the Steeler game, the late touchdown, the game fell. It went under the total, but it was close.
Right.
You know, I think it closed 43.5 or 44. And, they got 42. So both sides, both totals, up, down.
All covered.
Call it the four-way teaser. You ask a guy in the business, how'd you do? Oh, four-way teasers covered. Oh, stop crying. I mean, do you remember when week 4 when everybody lost? Come on.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys parted ways this morning. We talked about it a bit with them potentially going to Pittsburgh. But why did Dallas deny the Bears their interview request if they knew they were going to move off of Mike McCarthy?
Little personal there, right? Like that's I don't know. I guess they were trying to either make it known that we were still talking and don't talk to our guy, but he wasn't really your guy.
He didn't want to be your guy.
Yeah.
Like Belichick supposedly is really pissed off right now. Like Belichick won because he called Jerry Jones and said, I want the job. He said, are you going to move off of your coach? And he was told no. So he took the Carolina job because the Cowboy job wasn't supposed to be open. And Jerry Jones and him, because McCarthy, they thought they were keeping McCarthy. So they told Belichick to take the Carolina job because we're not going to have a job opening here. He wanted the Cowboys job.
So that's like when we talk to people about either working with us or being a sponsor on a show and they tell us they don't have the money and then they go and they have the money for somebody else.
Right.
So the job is there, but it's not a job for you. That's what Jerry was saying. He didn't want Belichick.
No, or this could be a McCarthy decision. McCarthy may have changed his demands. That's true. Maybe McCarthy said, I want whatever Mike got. Mike got $13 million a year. I want that.
Oh.
By the way, have you seen the scene that Jerry Jones did in that Paramount and the Peacock show about oil?
No.
It's unbelievable. He tells a story as part of the show, but he's playing himself.
Okay.
And he tells a real story. Landman. Thank you, D-Stout. It's called Landman. He tells his real story about him and his daughter, about how he wound up going and being part of the oil business. His daughter went to Stanford, and he was so heart-stricken because his daughter was far away from him that he started to go out to see her out in Palo Alto. He started driving around. He was going to buy a house. He was driving around. He instead saw 25 plots of land that were available. He then went to the bank, got a loan, bought the land. He was going to build a whole like housing complex and malls. And instead he dug oil and gas. and he made his fortune out of it.
Really?
And his whole story is, I do everything to work with my kids. He tells it about working with his kids and doing everything. He goes, I bought the Cowboys not to run a football team, to work with my son, to work with my kids. That's what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Everything I do is just to work with my kids. It's like you see Jerry Jones in like a totally different light. It's not even acting. It's so good.
Right.
It's awesome. It's a really good scene.
Huh.
I was like, okay, Jerry. I was like, I actually have a different like opinion of you right now. Like he could win an Oscar for that performance. Like it's moving. Like it's not even like the actors he's with are like real actors and like real, like, like serious actors. And he's doing it. He's completely steals the scene. So
I'll have to watch that because I mean, my dad kind of wanted to do that, a lot of that with us, but we, as you have one, I have three. I'm one of five. The kids resist what your parents are doing. A lot of times you can have a family business. We had one. Nobody wanted to work there. It was like, I had to.
Right.
And in hindsight, I got a better education working in the business with my dad. And I got some genuine time that I never would have gotten had I taken some corporate job somewhere. So it worked out really well. So, so I guess, the kids left. That's going to be my favorite thing about today is the kids left on Saturday and went back. And I guess I should go drive around New Jersey and see what the kids are doing. Maybe I'll run into some land or something.
Go ahead and buy the land. I don't know. I'll be curious who gets the job though, because Jerry Jones is not easy to work for, and everything is tough. So we'll see what they wind up doing, how that whole thing goes down with Jerry Jones. But the Cowboys job is open. So Patriot job closed, Cowboys job opens. All right, you went to the event. You were there. You've always asked for it whenever we've talked about it, so I'm giving it. Maybe the last time in 2025.
Sound louder. No, that's the first time of many in 2025.
Of next football season. Maybe this 24-25 football season, maybe the last time that we will play.
Oh, that we're talking about the contest? Yes, that might be the last time we're talking about the contest. But the Stinger lives forever. Come on.
Congrats to Team BP. They win the Circa Million.
Yep.
The teams that split the Circa Survivor all came in. You were a part of that. FUBAR 2, our brigade proxy service, they came in tied for 26th. So they took down a nice paycheck on that night, but you were there. What was that event like at Circa?
It's so different than anything because once you get there once, you're always invited to come back. So there's guys that won Survivor 2 years ago, 3 years ago that finished, a game out of the last place booby prize. I mean, you don't have to be good at picking games. You just need to be good at one time.
Right.
Like one time, whether it's the Survivor. I mean, the stories are incredible. There's so many first timers. Like there's so many people in the contest that got big checks that this was their first time ever doing the contest.
Wow.
There was someone that's been doing it since they started doing it in 2019 who finally made the money in the Circa Millions. So, they've been in it. The winning percentage for BP, Roger, was 69.8%. You got to pick at 70% to win this thing.
The whole year.
It's incredible. And, like Dewey was there, a couple other people were there, and they interviewed him, and they got every break. I mean, they literally got every coin flip. You have to have that type of year, right? It's crazy to think that. Like I've done it twice in the Westgate contest. I did it again in a reboot. You pick 60%, you don't get the money. Yeah. Like, how do you pick 60% and not get them? It's frustrating as hell, but you're that close to a couple coin flips and then you're in the money. So, yeah, FUBAR, the guys were there, kind of overwhelmed with the whole thing because it's just another day for us. Like, again, we take it for granted that we are in this space and know all these people and just kind of hang out. But Mike Palm's the MC. He does a great job with it. They force Benson to say something against his will. He stands up there on that podium. And I can tell you this, they pay out almost $20 million, right?
Oh, yeah.
The next day. Do you know the logistical nightmare? Like Jeff couldn't stay after he spoke. He's like, I'm leaving. I'm going home because the number of payouts, there were 52 different people receiving money in all of this yesterday or on Saturday. They have to plan it out. So you have to either, bank wire this guy or get a bag of cash. Wherever you sign up is where you get paid. Well, can you imagine that one of the people at the pass got to get 1.7 million?
Or
they don't
Reno,
even have 1.7 million at the pass.
Or Reno. If you
Right.
sign up in Reno and you come to Vegas for the check ceremony, you got to go back to Reno to get your money.
Get the money. Correct. So that's and that's fine. Like that's perfectly. It's just another operating procedure day,
Right.
But it's very different. And then, oh, by the way, there's 2 playoff games. There's 150 college basketball games. There's a full slate of hockey. There's an NBA slate. Like it's a normal business day that you're paying out all this money. So I did see Spooky Rain. Hung out with him. It was fun. He was walking around having a good time. Everybody's in a good mood. That's the other fun part of it. It's like one of those days because you go to the book and there's people that are angry. There's people that are mad. They had their bad beats or they're just pissed off in general. That day in that room, this is the second year that I've been there for that. It's fun. It's a fun day and everybody's in a happy mood. You see all the families come. It's like, the people that won the Survivor got $1.7 million. $1.7 million.
They played for 14.2 though.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing. Yeah. Who did win the Big Ten Survivor? That's a great question, Jimmy Football.
I think
four guys
9
split it, right?
people. 9, I think it was.
Oh, 9 people split it.
Yeah, because Bomber and the Shrew were 2 of them.
Nice. So we'll do next year. We'll make it a little different. We'll kind of spice it up a little bit, and because first year running it, so we'll do it again.
Yeah.
But I like the college football Survivor angle. There's just too many teams. We can't do it for like everyone. That's to make it too easy to survive.
Right.
You gotta crunch it down. That's why we did a Big Ten version of it.
Yeah.
So
we'll do something. We're gonna work on something. It's kind of the day to kind of put everything to bed too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
With just football season, regular season, all that other stuff. It's done.
One college game left. Ohio State, Notre Dame next Monday. Second largest spread ever for a championship game. What's the handle on this game?
Oh, it's huge.
It's going to be huge at 9.5. It's going to be huge.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the last game.
You want to
and
lay
it's 2 brand names. It's 2 brand names.
You want to lay 9.5?
No, it'll probably be the last leg of a teaser.
Okay. Everything will roll into it.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those weird carryover days because you got some really good NFL games this weekend.
Yeah, but it's Monday night though. It's
coming up.
Football. It's 3 days of football. Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
That's what I mean. But you don't mean to tell me you're not going to put the Lions and the Chiefs and Ohio State in it? Like
3 leg. Well, let's see what that pays right now.
That's just crank it up.
Let's see what Lions, Chiefs. Let's see. Chiefs.
You did the money line parlay
with
the NFL, and there's probably going to be a lot of it tied.
You're still laying juice. It's minus 116. At least I got plus 113 on the 3-legger with the Ravens, Bills, and Eagles.
Yeah,
I got plus money on that. I got to lay juice on a 3-leg money line parlay. Chiefs, Lions, Ohio State.
I don't know if you want to put the Eagles in there on Sunday, depending on who they play. I don't know. Do you think the Rams, if they win, or the Vikings, if they win, can go to Philly and win?
Yes.
Outdoor team, or dome team, and the Vikings going.
Rams have impressed me going east. Rams have gone east this year. I don't know. That would be. I wouldn't put it in part of the parlay. I might bet it, but I wouldn't put a part of the parlay on that. Pac-12 Survivor, Sonic. We're not doing a Pac-12 Survivor on this. But
It'll be over quick.
If the gambling handle may not be as big as I think, or you think big, I'm not so sure. This is the most expensive ticket price ever. Average price is over $4,000 to get in.
Wow.
To Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame people will pay whatever the price is, I guess.
Yes, they will. And Ohio State folks will, because they think they're going to a coronation. So Ohio State fans think they're going in there watching. This is not a game. This is a party.
True.
So they'll pay whatever they want because I want to be there when my team wins the national championship. They think the Irish have no shot.
I was really excited. I really thought that Penn State was going to go play Ohio State. Maybe that ticket would have been not nearly as expensive, but I was going to go. I really was going to go. We were texting with people. We were going to try to do a show on Friday leading up to that game. That would have been fun, but I don't know, P-Roll. Notre Dame isn't going to beat this team, is it? On their best day.
Riley Leonard's not beating that defense on his
How is
best
he going to?
day.
I mean, what are they going to do?
On his best day, he's not beating the Ohio State defense. Sorry, not happening.
I don't see it.
Pass rush is going to eat them for lunch. They've got 2 offensive lineman starters out for this game. The left tackle is out for this game for the Irish.
These guys got beat up against Penn State, right?
Yeah.
That one guy had to leave the field. He didn't come back. The guy with 2 literally sequoia trees for legs. That one guy.
Yeah.
For Notre Dame.
Yeah.
There was literally, they went straight down like this the whole way. There was no kneecap or anything. Not that I'm looking at guys' legs, but I saw that and went, holy crap.
They're getting
beat up.
There's no way Riley Leonard will run for his life the entire day, the entire night.
Type it in the chat, boys. First thought right now. You got a week to decide because it's not till next Monday. But Ohio State minus 9.5, Notre Dame plus 9. Notre Dame plus 9.5, Ohio State minus 9.5. Who you taking? Type it in the chat. I'll be surprised. Show yourself, Notre Dame fans.
Do you remember
Irish fans.
Do you remember what happened with the biggest spread ever? Georgia TCU, 13.5 points.
Blowout. Like I think Georgia's still scoring.
30.
Yeah.
Game was over fast.
Holy crap. Yeah.
It's going to be over fast.
Chicago John has
final score was 65-7.
Leave no doubt.
Okay. Final score was 65-7. Georgia against TCU in the national championship game. January 9th of 2023, 2 years ago. Name your number, Ohio State. Name your number.
Nikki Caramello, I see you. I remember when I took TCU plus 13.5.
Whoops.
My goodness gracious. I remember when I bet on Alabama against Notre Dame in a big game. You remember that? Was it Alabama or was it Georgia? I think it was Alabama, right?
What do you mean?
When they played in the 4, they were in the playoff and they were in the semifinal game. Notre Dame
beat them by 100, didn't they?
I think it was Alabama, right? Was it Bama or Georgia?
I think it was Alabama.
I think it was Bama. Boy, that was one of those ones that was like a come out of retirement play.
In 21, it was 31-14 for that game.
It was never in doubt.
Yeah, they killed them 31-14.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I think Ryan Day is going to be fine.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Day's going to be fine. Yeah, they're going to be coming for scalps in the media.
Lalonde, what is Notre Dame going to do when they have to pass? It's going to look like Brucey running in unnecessary roughness. Like, throw it. I mean, it's going to be, he's going to be running for his life.
Is they going to get killed? I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Yeah. Okay, 3.
And I love Marcus Freeman.
So do I, but he may go to the Bears.
What?
The Bears are interviewing him. He's supposed to be one of their lead candidates to go get him to coach the Bears. So watch that. If that picks up real steam, some big distraction going on in the Irish locker room.
The Irish pay more than the Bears.
Forget the flu. Do they? For head coaches?
For players.
Oh, well, players, yes. But, I mean, head coaching.
Nikki Caramello, Notre Dame's a better job than the Bears.
Is it? In
I
Chicago?
don't know. You play Army, you play Navy, you play a couple hard games, you go to these fancy bowl games. I don't know. They're set up. No.
Notre Dame's a private school, right?
You can pay whatever you want.
Well, I don't know if Marcus Freeman's salary is public. Hold on. He's making $9 million.
What's wrong with that?
He just signed an extension. Well, maybe he's not going. He just signed an extension through 2030. His contract is not public because Notre Dame is a private institution, so we don't know what the buyout is. So we're not sure yet on that. His base compensation is $5.8 million, supposedly. Yeah, I guess we'll.
What if he wins?
Oh my God!
What if he wins? He becomes Newt Rockney overnight. They're going to be making movies. Win one for the Freeman.
I mean, he's going to get that treatment anyway. I mean, he's the first coach. I mean, this is why Brian Kelly left them, right? Went to LSU, said, I can't win at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I can't recruit here.
You can now.
You can, yeah, well, he clearly can because he just did it. So Marcus Freeman's already getting that Newt Rockney treatment because he's the guy that inherited the mess that was left him by Brian Kelly. So, and now he's in the championship game, and everyone's telling Brian Kelly to, Fugazi, because that's all you. So look what our guy did.
I'm going to go to the Bears, and I got to figure out a way to beat the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers. What?
Make $13-14 million a year and live in Chicago. Young guy. He's 39 years old. Not a lot going on there at Notre Dame.
Oh, man. I stay at Notre Dame.
So
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. NBA games tonight. There's three of them I want to quickly touch on here.
Yep.
Rockets in Memphis is the game of the night.
Oh, that's tonight?
Houston is 7-3 over the last 10. Memphis is one game back of the Rockets for the 2 seed in the West.
Damn, son.
3-point number.
It's a good basketball game.
It's the basketball game of the night because there's no college games to talk about.
No, there's really not. Wow. I'm interested in this one. I don't know. First thought is Houston.
Me too.
Right now.
Yep.
I will dive into it more.
Memphis is
game
5-5.
over.
5-5 over the last 10. Houston's hot.
The game over, I think.
There's no such thing as a game of the night in the NBA.
Come on.
Stop
you
it.
better get used to it. Listen.
Right?
You better get used to it, JPC the fourth.
You got NBA talk coming.
You still got football season because your team's in it, but
right. Most people
NBA and hockey become very prevalent here on the BBB.
Turn the page. I like the Rockets. You do too?
Yeah, first thought, yes.
Raptors have lost 5 straight. They've lost 9 of 10, but the Warriors laying 6 points on the road seems a little heavy, no?
Yes.
I was like, 6 points?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll have to do some more of this NBA work when we get done with the show. I'm doing not in-game live tonight, but I'm just doing a preview for the football game. It's our last pro football today, so I didn't really look at the NBA. There's only 3 hockey games, too.
Yeah, tiny hockey. And then finally,
San Antonio.
How many points do I have to give you to take Minnesota at Washington?
How many points? To take the Wizards?
To take the Wizards.
Yeah. Well,
they have 6 wins.
15.
Yep, it's 15. Would you lay 15 points?
I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. It's 20.
You need 20 points plus 20?
Well, the way these games have been falling, me and Wetzel been doing it at night, laughing because on the regular, even at home, Washington at some point during the game is getting 24.5 or 25.5 points. And we're always trying to go, is this the buy time? Do you take? And inevitably, the game falls around 20, 22, 27. Like they never come back and win. Very rarely. So no, I don't. I mean, I would lay it. It's an uncomfortable lay. It's embarrassing.
If 6 wins, it's January. If 6 wins.
I thought you were going to mention the LA games. They're playing games in LA tonight.
Yeah, they're back.
So they're back. I mean, the Clippers at home against the Heat at the Intuit Dome. 7. It's a hard number to lay. But and then San Antonio catching points against the Lakers. That's got to be a play.
Taking San Antonio?
Yes. So I don't know. That's the NBA portion of the show, boys and girls.
Yes.
It was quick, it was fast, and it was like a alley-oop, slam dunk.
Quick
boom,
and
we're
easy.
done. That's it.
Last week, we didn't get to this because we were doing the shows from Resorts World. DK and Delta Airlines
Yeah.
made a monumental announcement. Oops, sorry. Delta partners with DraftKings on sports betting.
Uh-huh.
U.S. law grounds the $1.3 billion in-flight gambling potential.
Uh-huh.
Do you believe that there's potentially $1.3 billion in handle flying around the skies right now that Delta might be able to capitalize on?
I'm so impressed with the ability of people to fabricate numbers. Just come up with whatever. Just say 1.3. That's
Billion.
a big number.
Billion. 1.3
Would
billion.
be?
Not million. They
Would
believe
it
there's
be?
$1.3 billion flying around. And I'm not going to lie. I have made bets from a plane.
Right. I know. People do it all the time.
I can
But,
make bets. It's not on shore,
right.
But
It's
it's
fine. It's fine. Listen,
you can
it's
make
not a
bets.
professional. You don't have to tell them everything on the show, P-Row. Relax. All right. People do stuff. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to gamble. They're going to play slots on a plane. You're on a plane. You're
That's sports betting. 1.3 billion sports betting. I'm with you. If you let grandma play slots on the screen, oh my God. Like we're talking, how much money could you make? Like that's insane.
Yeah. It's
Imagine
be
an emergency landing and someone loses their mind losing on the hook.
like all the different things Circa
Circa air coming.
Can you imagine? Like I think there's got to be places with the infiltration of gambling into our lives everywhere.
Well, there's some people who are bringing that up, who are saying, hold on a second.
We don't need it here.
We don't need it here. Like you're putting it in a place. There are people who are sounding the alarm bell saying, okay, this is how you get the federal government to ban this whole damn thing.
Correct.
Because you're going to try to put it on airplanes and people are going to say, wait a second, what are you doing? But don't tell me they aren't degenerates who aren't going to say, I want to be able to bet live with on my DraftKings account. And if you give me the opportunity to do so at Delta, I'm going to fly Delta.
Oh, 100%.
Because the law is this: when you're above a state, you're not in the state. They might try to change that and say, hey, if I'm flying over Kansas and I'm heading, it's legal in Kansas and not legal in Missouri. If I'm over Kansas, I can bet in Kansas. I just can't bet in Missouri. So get me while I'm over Kansas, get me the in-flight. Where am I? Let me gamble. Look at Sonic. The Gambling Devices Act of 1962 makes gambling illegal on U.S. commercial aircrafts. Yep, but you can repeal that the same way you repealed PASPA.
Yeah.
you just repeal it.
See,
and make it state by state.
We don't need to be having people gambling on the flights. Don't forget, though, people used to smoke on the flights, like all the time.
Every flight would then reroute around Utah.
Right?
But
can't fly over Utah.
Delta's hub is in Salt Lake City.
One
Can't
of them,
do that.
yes.
That's one of their major hubs is in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. I don't understand the deal. I have to read more about the deal. It's pretty impressive that they got the deal done.
Well, no, it's a marketing deal at the moment, but they unveiled it at the Sphere. Lenny Kravitz was playing at the Sphere. Pop-up, Lenny Kravitz. And then they roll out DraftKings and Delta. This big, huge announcement. Like huge Delta Airlines and DraftKings. At first, you're going to play games for free. You're going to play, not gambling. Right. You're going to play your 6-pick-6 for free game.
Of course. Yeah.
With DraftKings.
Right.
And then you start rolling rolling it back.
That's the dime bag. Get you in. and then, you ask for more.
Yeah.
And you get more. And it sounds like a terrible idea.
This is a quote from somebody who was watching who watched the announcement. I'm hoping that I misheard the part where it was described as it's part of gaming offerings in the in-seat experience. I'm not a fan of this at all. If people want to gamble on their personal devices, that's one thing, but pushing it to the in-flight platform is a morally questionable choice to me.
When it doesn't work, who do you call?
The same people you call when you call the flight attendant, because it's like when you're on JetBlue and your screen doesn't work, you got to go talk to the flight attendant and say, hey, my screen doesn't work. Fix the screen.
This
And they
is
got to
gonna
reset the
require-
they had to reset the Wi-Fi on our flight back from Boston. We had to reset the Wi-Fi because it wasn't working.
This
People were
sounds like
getting
a
all mad.
perfect opportunity for an out of work odds maker like myself. I'm going to be a flight attendant because I'm going to be able to explain, and I'm going to get free flights everywhere when it's down, or when a guy gets limited because he's betting too much, or there's a wheel spinning because we're in turbulence. And I'm going to be like, sir, shut your app off, buckle your seatbelt, put your screen up. You're not betting or watching the game right now.
The Department of Transportation studied in-flight gambling in 1996, largely concluding it was fine, but stopped short of recommending legalization. The Clinton administration at the time was proposing a national study on the effects of gambling, and the Department of Transportation held off from preempting this. In 1996, the Department of Transportation concluded that the airlines could earn $1 million per aircraft per year by offering gambling on board their flights.
Maybe the estimates are right.
1 million
Get
per
us out of
year
here. We'll
per
continue this
airplane.
conversation in bonus time.
Are we allowed to bet miles? That's awesome.
Oh no! Of course, Nikki, they're going to make you do
You
that.
bet miles. Guys, you're watching on the replay. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. If you're on the replay crew, hopefully you come back tomorrow, watch it on Sports Grid, or listen to it on Sirius XM. If you were with us live, you get bonus time starting now. I love this story.
Congratulations! I think we just did a clean show.
Yeah, clean
I think
show.
Will had one swear word.
Let's swear the whole
edit.
time. Good Monday start.
So now it's bonus time.
Yes.
This is fucking ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, I mean, what is this a real gaming experience? This is not. What are we doing?
Dave,
I don't want to sit next to a guy DGing.
Why?
If I'm on a plane.
You already are. You
What do you
already
mean?
are sitting. People watch games with money on it all the time.
That's fine. I
It's
don't
the
need
same
to see him
thing.
sitting there hammering it all. It's not. I don't know.
What's
You
the
like
difference?
watching games in a book?
What's the difference? There's no difference. I don't. You know this. I don't go watch games and books.
So now you're going to basically get
No,
that
I'm
guy.
not saying I'm not
in
that
a
guy next
plane.
to me. That's fine. It's one person. I can deal with one person. If he's obnoxious, we'll have a conversation with what he's doing. But I don't have any problem with this. I actually think this is actually a really interesting idea. And I think if I'm thinking about this, you have a captive audience, right?
Oh,
So you can't go anywhere. You're on
hit
a
him with every
5-hour
ad in the
flight.
world.
You're on a 5-hour flight going across the country.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I don't need it on my screen on the seat. Just let me do it on my phone. Because right now you're blocked off. Right now it's not allowed. Just make me do it on my phone. Just make it legal. But they don't want that because they want you to have to pay them to be able to do it.
Right.
So Delta wants the exclusivity of it. So then Delta can say, we've got these things available that other airlines do not. So fly Delta. Don't fly somebody else.
Jeez. I love sleeping on a plane or reading a book. Those are my two favorite, or watching a movie. I don't need to watch. I don't know.
I love to hammer things on my phone while I'm on a plane. Adam, you're not wrong. I mean, I know I've seen people coming out of Vegas who have literally tried hard to get a bet in on their phone while the plane is taxiing.
Correct.
Like they've been like trying to get a bet in.
Seen it.
And then they go in and they buy it. They're like, oh, I got it in. Good.
Yeah.
So like it happens all the time. So it's just once you get up into the air and you don't have cell service and they can't geolocate you, then you can't use it because they don't know where you are. So if you're over a state with it's legal, you can make it legal to gamble on airplanes pretty easily.
I mean, you've been on the riverboats, right?
Of course, that's where I started, basically. Iowa, Missouri.
I'll never forget in Pittsburgh when it was like, wait, they got riverboats we can go gamble on?
Oh, yeah.
What is this?
AC. Wasn't Atlantic City and how AC started too?
I don't know. I mean, I
Atlantic
went
City
to
started that
Atlantic
way.
City when I was young and it was casinos. But when they went and said, all right, we're going to go on this boat. Where were we? I think we were in Indiana.
Okay. Makes sense.
And we were on the boat and nothing was happening. And then they moved off of the dock And then it was
it
a
turned
movie.
on. Yep,
I was
it all
like,
turned on.
what the hell? This is like the speakeasy. What just happened here?
You know, it turned on.
All
Yep,
the
I found that.
music and
Yep.
all it was like the dealers start hitting the cards and like the machines, everything kicked on. I was like, so we're 6 feet off of the dock.
Yep.
And now we can gamble.
Yep.
Okay. So like
In
we have to
Boston,
be in the air like for this. We
they
can't
do
be
it
in the jetway.
well, they do it in Boston where you have to go an hour offshore to international waters. And the same thing happens in Boston. You get out to international waters, and all of a sudden the entire boat comes alive.
Right.
And, it's so weird. They throw anchor in international waters, and then they go boo, and all the dice, everything starts popping. It's crazy to see it. Yes.
Joe the Fat Panda, you're right. It was the Argosy Casino outside of Cincinnati. That's where it was. That's where it was. I was with Brother Doug. We went down to Cincinnati, and I was like, what the hell is this? That's where it was, the Argosy. That's the name. And, the blackjack rules weren't right. And, like, we were playing, and we were young, and it was a big deal. But cruise ships are great for gambling. I don't know how great they are, Chef Benny. Those odds are not always right.
No, they're horrible.
They're
the
terrible.
Blackjack odds are terrible. The drink prices are terrible. I did it probably, I don't know how many times in Boston. I probably did it 5 times in Boston or on a Friday night. Just got, a bunch of people just said, okay, let's go.
Was it like a 2-hour deal, 3-hour deal out?
It's an hour ride out, 2 hours of gambling, an hour ride in. They call it a sunset gambling cruise is what they call it. So it's like go out at sunset. So you see the skyline of Boston and the sun goes down. And then you get to international waters. They throw anchor. You just start gambling for 2 hours and they get back up and drive back in. Tickets like $65 or something like that to go do it. It's not expensive to do it. And then you just go and gamble and the odds suck and the limits are low and it's just for fun. So, it's actually a really hot spot dating thing. It's a booze cruise.
Raj, exactly. Raj, you might be back in the game, Raj. You might get a title shot out of that.
It's good for gambling. I mean, it's a captive audience, but the problem is I've seen friends of mine do it and be stuck on a boat on a bad date, and that sucks. Because you can't go anywhere. You can't get up and go home. You're stuck in the middle of international waters.
You better be sure you like this person before you go out on one of these. Yeah. This is not a first date type of thing.
No.
That could be bad.
No, I think I was engaged to my ex-wife before we ever did it.
Okay,
we were far committed on that.
Right.
Theme cruises? I don't do theme cruises, Ian. No, I can't do the overnight cruise thing. I'll do the night cruise. I can't do sleeping on it.
So you've never been on a cruise ship?
Been on one.
How long was the cruise?
3 days, 2 nights.
Too long?
Won't do it again.
Really?
Won't do it again. No, I can't stand it.
We're putting together a BVB cruise to the Caribbean.
And we talked to Justin about what happens when Justin did his cruises, and I would be Justin in that story.
Little 4-day cruise. We stop at the
come on in.
Bahamas.
You're not going to see me much.
Down to Curacao.
It's called the Holy Ship. That's great. That's a good name. Holy Ship. I like that.
Holy Ship.
That's pretty good. He did a 3-day rave dance cruise with DJs playing all over the boat, basically all hours, called the Holy Ship.
All that boom, 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 bass kicking, Ian lights out. I'm not sure about that.
No, thank you.
Geez, the hammer could make it fun, Rainmaker. I don't know about that. We could bring the hammer. It's a different kind of cruise.
Different kind of cruise.
I ain't no gambling. I mean, you're gambling about some other things there.
Yeah.
About that.
Time for better. All right, it's quick today. It's just my typical same game teaser. Rams plus 8.5, under 54.
What gets you here?
Viking blowout.
Win by 10.
Yeah. That's how.
I guess. Yeah, that looks right.
I'm due to fall on my face. I went 12-2 over the last 4 days in football. I'm 100% due.
Wow.
I am 100% due to fall apart. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12-2. Betting football. Now, unfortunately, I bet college basketball and hockey as well and lost all those bets, but in just football bets.
College basketball has chewed people up.
Killing me.
Yeah, that's one of those. It's so funny. I talked to a guy in Pittsburgh, Palmetto Yinzer. He's 0-15 betting. He won his football bets to pay all his college basketball bets.
Pretty much, yes. If I
literally
just
was
bet
like,
college football in the month of January, I would be so far up. I'm
Right.
up, but I'd be
Right.
so far
Right.
up because hockey and college basketball have kicked me in the nuts.
yeah.
I can't get a college basketball. I'm losing. I mean, I lost the fucking UConn game when he missed a free throw. I laid one with UConn. He missed two free
He
throws
missed
down
2
by
free
one.
throws. I know.
I mean,
I
that's
know,
I'm on that.
saw that,
I'm on
yeah.
that type of run in college
Right.
basketball. I can't
Yep.
get a. I'm losing on hooks. I'm losing
Yep.
on free throws.
Yep.
College
All the
basketball
above.
is killing me. Sucks.
I like the Vikings tonight, but I'll say this is I'll book this one,
Okay.
but I don't. It's the only way you're losing is that way. Is the Vikings win by 10? That's it. Because the
Yeah.
game's staying right around that number.
54 is a
54
lot
is
of
a lot of
points.
points.
Yeah.
It's a lot of points
On a
and it's
neutral
weird
in a
week
playoff
on
game.
neutral. It's a fast track though.
It is, but I like. I mean, I like Addison over his receptions. I like Justin Jefferson over his yards. So I think the offense is going to move the ball for
He's
the
going
Vikings
to have a
through
big
the
night.
air.
JJ's going to have a big night, I think.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I think that he's uncoverable. He had 115 yards in the first meeting and had a long of 27. So his prop for his longest reception is 26 and a half tonight. People like the over
Okay.
longest reception for JJ to be over 26 and a half yards.
There's probably big plays on both sides of the ball tonight.
Fair. I would agree. But I think both teams are gonna try to limit possessions and try to run the ball. I'm not sure if the Vikings have a ton of success doing it, but the Rams have got to run the ball.
I feel like the Vikings' best path tonight. Let's just go score 40.
Oh boy.
Like, forget about limiting possessions. Let's go score 40, boys.
Are the Rams giving up 40 points this year?
I don't know, but like that's the way I think they're gonna win.
Let me see.
They protected leads so like make it so dangerous.
Yeah, they gave up 42 to the Bills.
And won.
44-42. But that's the most by far that they've given up this year. Most of their games have looked like 12-6, 19-9, 13-9,
Yes.
23-15,
Yeah.
20-15, 24-19. Like that's how the Rams play.
Right.
So I think if you get anywhere, I think if you get 30, the Vikings win the game. Let me see. They gave up 30 to Seattle and lost. They gave up 42 in the Bills to win, but they gave up 37 to the Eagles and lost. They gave up 41 to the Cardinals and lost. So if they're getting 30, Vikings most likely win.
Yeah.
So you get over, that's a pretty good number. What's the team total for the Vikings tonight? 26, 27?
Total in the game?
48.
48.
Yeah. Let's see. Team total for the game tonight.
25 and a half, probably.
For the Vikings? Wow.
Something like that. 26 and a
Vikings
half.
points is 25 and a half.
I still fucking got it.
We're 23 and a half for the Rams.
I still fucking got it. I mean, that was, and that's a weird number, right? 25 and a half. That's 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Is the kicking an issue tonight?
Dome.
They'll both be fine?
Dome.
Man,
Should not have a problem with that with the
don't
dome.
look at some kicking props for the show tonight.
Ooh, okay. Not bad.
I just think there's going to be a lot of trips to the red zone tonight.
Thank you, CBW. Elliot Wolf's time in New England his time is ticking. I would put the house on the market if I was Elliot Wolf.
Wait, the Giants are allowing executive advisor to the GM Ryan Cowden out of his current deal, and he's expected to join the hashtag Patriots front office under Elliot Wolf. What? So Elliot Wolf is the guy. He's getting everybody home.
No, Elliot Wolf is the guy that the Patriots will deal with for now.
Oh,
And then Ryan Cowden. That's Vrabel's handpicked guy. Is Ryan Cowden.
oh,
He'll be the
Okay.
GM of the Patriots with
yeah. See, that's what I was asking about the kickers because King of Car Seat said it. Kicking is always an issue for the Vikings.
It's the Vikings. It's like the Bills. It's just always kicking
I
problems
don't
with the
wanna bring
Vikings
that
and the
up.
Bills.
I don't want to bring that up for these people. Right?
I mean, they did that video. I didn't know half the Kicking history for the Vikings in the playoffs. I didn't realize how awful it is.
Gary Anderson.
Yeah. It was like, whoa.
He was so good in Pittsburgh, and he missed those. Oh, it was terrible. That's how Atlanta went to the Super Bowl.
Favorite thing about today is what?
I'm going to have to watch this thing you're talking about Jerry Jones doing things to
should.
work with his kids and stuff
100%.
because
I'll send it to you after the show. I'll send it to you.
yeah, I've had the pleasure of having the kids home from college for the first time ever, 2 of them. They brought all their stuff. It was chaos. They were on the show on Friday. If you didn't see the show, go back and watch the show. We had Mama, Big Consig, Middle Consig, Little Consig stole the show. She came home and told everybody how good she looked on the camera and how smart she was and everything. It was great. But they went back on Saturday, and it's interesting when you say goodbye to the kids after having them home for 3 weeks and the chaos that comes with it and the holidays and everything else. Saturday was strange. It was, and then everybody left, and I was home with the dog watching the Texans and the Chargers, and then they went to bowling, and I was home by myself watching the Steelers and getting just done. I was like, I'm going to watch hockey. This is terrible. I don't want to watch this anymore. And I literally called them and said, are you guys still bowling? No, we're done. Why? I said, because I don't want to be in this house. I'm tired of watching the Steelers got killed. And the first thing I hear is Grandma in the background going, said they were going to lose. And I'm like, yeah, God. I know. And then, Papap was done. He's done. Fired Tomlin. I can't stand it. Why do they keep doing it? But the favorite thing about today is the fact that the kids can be at school and everything just kind of gets settled back in. So we're back on a Monday. We did a show. Everything's fine. Hopefully they watch it later. Yeah, Little Consig is a weapon, JPC the fourth. They're going to run the show. Our kids are going to run the show. I keep it, whatever it is, it's happening. We're learning from them all the time. They're teaching us. They are going to run the show. But my favorite thing is that it's still a thing. You can still have the family. You can be separated physically, but you're always together. It was good. It was a good time to be together. Now they're on their own. See.
We'll see how often you get to go Florida and back east and go see them play softball together. It's pretty cool. So
yeah, that's the plan.
It's a cool year coming.
When do you start school? Next week?
Next Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday. So today, my favorite thing about today is I don't know why, but I woke up yesterday and carry over to today. Today feels like New Year's Day to me. Today feels like the start of 2025. Like the last 12 days were just a whirlwind for us doing so many. I was coming back because I was in New England over New Year's. I was over in DC over New Year's. And so I was there for till the 5th of January. So then I came back on the 6th. So that entire week was just like a complete blur. I was tired. I was jet lagged. I was on East Coast time, getting into West Coast time. Then we had 2 live shows we had to do. So we were running around, doing Thursday and Friday, getting everything ready to go. Then Saturday happens. We have football all day. Then Sunday happens and there's football all day. And today I'm like, okay, we have football today, but today finally feels like the start of the year.
Yeah.
Hit the ground running. I got a laundry list of things to do. I got to tackle all of it as soon as we're done here and start getting into it. But my favorite thing about today is that today feels like actually the start of the season, of the new calendar year. Done. Let's go. It might be the 13th of January, but it feels like today is New Year's Day. Start the week, start the day, start the year.
The live shows kind of caught us a little bit, made things. I mean, I had to test everything and put everything back together. We're getting good at that.
Yeah. I had to put everything back together again. And I cleaned. This room is crazy because you guys never see the other room. You just see what's behind me. But I had a lot of stuff in this room. I've cleaned it all out. I have so much room to go in this space.
Find the leak?
Awesome.
Did you find the leak?
They're dig up the whole house coming up here. But it's starting. Think today or tomorrow. Digging up the hole. I told them they couldn't do it during the show because they got a jackhammer. So I was like, guys, you can't.
Thank you.
Can't do it during the show. I'm sorry. You can't do. You got to come after 2:00.
Please.
Tyrone thinks you're insane.
He's right. Thank you, Tyrone. We got people coming to town, by the way. They emailed about restaurants. Tried to email back. You guys have the text line 702-570-8255. We don't have any more picks to put in, but if you watch the show or you have something to add, you want to, we see it. We have other people that watch that number for us that will let us know if we miss it. If you're coming to town, Chicago John and Chicago Kristen are coming next week. Hopefully we're going to see them, spend some time together. That's the plan. So stay tuned. It is the official start of 2025. Got a lot of things planned, a lot of things coming. Just keep showing up. Hit the like
Good
button,
stuff.
hit the subscribe button.
See you tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. Tuesdays, Bostonian versus the Book. He's Dave. I'm Matt. Back tomorrow for BVB.